Hello everyone! In this video I'll be showing you how I made this poncho. It's just a lot of granny stitches with a hood attached to it, so you can make it with or without a hood. I'm using this Red Heart Ombre yarn, which is a weight 4, and a 6mm hook. Row 1, we will start by chaining 4. And into the 4th chain from the hook, do 2 double crochets, chain 2, then 3 double crochets, that should leave you with 6 double crochets. Just to note, the beginning chain 3 counts as 1 double crochet throughout the pattern. So now you'll have your start to the triangle, chain 3, turn your work, and 2 double crochet in the first double crochet. Chain 1, and into the chain space we'll do 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 more double crochet. Chain 1, and in the last double crochet do 3 double crochets. That should leave you with 12 double crochets for row 2. Row 3, we'll chain 3 and turn your work, and again do 2 double crochet in the first double crochet, chain 1, and 3 double crochets in the next chain 1 space, chain 1, and into the 2 chain space, do 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 more double crochets into the 2 chain space, chain 1, 3 double crochet into the next chain 1 space, chain 1, and 3 double crochet into the last double crochet. So you should have 18 double crochets total for row 3. At this point, you're just going to keep repeating row 3 around. Keep working this till it's the desired length. It's just going to keep growing outwards and then down to a point like a triangle. After I did this, I had some left. You want to make sure you have some for your hood. Once you've completed your triangle to the length you want, we're just going to single crochet evenly across the top. Just fill in any chain spaces you see. That'll make it nice and tidy through the top when we go to connect it, because you'll want to make 2 of these to connect. Once you get to the end, you can fasten off your work on one of the triangles, but don't fasten off on the second triangle because we'll use that to connect. We're gonna connect the 2 now. We want to leave a space in between for the neck hole, so we'll use these stitch markers is what I like to use, and hold it up to yourself to see how wide you want it to be on you, just to see how wide you want your neck space to be. Once you have where you want it to be for your head hole, we will connect with stitch markers to the end of the sides. That way it stays in place when we connect them. And double check, make sure it's even on both sides. That way you don't have a crooked side or a lopsided neck hole. Always double check to see if it is the width you want before going in and sewing it up together, because that would be a pain to take apart. This one is a little bit smaller, but I want to make sure I have enough yarn to make the hood to show you. Once you have your desired length for everything, slip stitch the sides together. And turn your work, because then we're going to single crochet across, but I go into the back loops on both sides. So I'll go through one back loop and then the opposite back loop. Pull those together and do a single crochet. And keep repeating that across until you reach your next space. So single crochet in the back loops only. It'll create just a little bit of a ridge, but I like how it looks. Once you get to the neck hole, you're only gonna single crochet on one side. So I am gonna go through the front side here. You can do the front or the back, it doesn't really matter, because we're gonna single crochet in that side in a minute anyways. Just one single crochet across in both loops. Once you get to the other side, go back to going into the back loops of your single crochet stitches across. Once you have the sides single crocheted up, go ahead and test it out another time, because you can also stop right here if you want. You don't have to attach a hood, obviously. I would just do a single crochet around the other side to make it match. I ended up making the neck hole a little smaller than I would like, but that's okay. We can work around that still. So once everything's attached, you're gonna slip stitch on to the opposite side of where you single crocheted and slip stitch. I'm doing a little bit more off to the center of the neck hole just because I did make it a little smaller, but I want my hood to be a little bit wider still. So I'm just slip stitching onto one of the single crochets we did across the sleeve, and then I'm going to work my way over to the neck hole. I'm still going in the back loops here. Once you do get to your neck hole though, go into both loops. You can go in the back loops too if you want like a little more texture, but just do a single crochet evenly across. And make sure you count out, if you did go like out on the edge like I did, make sure you count out how many you did, so then it'll be equal on the other side too. And same with the other side. You're just going to be working into the back of the poncho, because you want to leave that front space alone, because this is going to be your hood. Once you have your desired length on the hood base, turn your work. We'll just be going back across. I didn't chain one. I just went into the next space. In this row, I'm going into both of the loops. And I only do single crochet on the first two rows, and then I double crochet in the other rows just so it goes by a little quicker. You can keep doing single crochet, but for video timing sake, I just went up to doing the double crochet to make it a little quicker on the hood. So now that I have the length of the hood that I want, I'm gonna slip stitch it together at the very top. And don't worry, it's gonna get longer. This is just the length to cover the top of your head, and then it's gonna go around your face, so it'll get a little wider. This is just the length. You'll slip stitch into that first stitch on the opposite side. Then, like we've been doing, I'm going to do the back loops only, and single crochet across till you get to the back of the hood. With my hoods, I like to have a little elf-ish point on the back, like a little fairy gnome hat. So this will give you a little bit of a curve flip at the back. Once you have the top sewn, fasten off your work, and we'll go to the very bottom of the hood and slip stitch into that corner, because now we're going to work on the width of the hood that's going to go around your face. Slip stitch into the corner and turn your work. Now we'll be doing single crochets, so in both loops just go into any chain space or stitches that you see, because you'll have some chain spaces if you did the double crochets and some stitches, so just to make it nice and even across. Once you've gone around to the other side, turn your work again and go into the back loop. I like to do this to give it a little bit more texture on the hood. So go through the back loops all the way across and just keep repeating this back and forth until you have the desired length of the hood around your face. You'll see it's got little ridges forming, and it's gonna go out. It's not gonna connect to the bottom yet, but we'll go back through and connect it. I just want to show you on my other hood where I had the neckline a little wider. This is what the facial part of the hood's gonna look like. But on the neckline I went pretty wide, so I didn't have to make those extra ridges on the sides. I could just connect it to the inner part of the hood. But anyway, now that we got all of our rows done for the hood, we're going to turn our work at the bottom and single crochet down on the edge, because we're going to start connecting the hood to the sleeves. So single crochet all the way down on the edge, just like you did to connect that. So just go through any chain spaces and stitches that you see to make it nice and seamless. I guess not seamless, but you know, tidy. Once you're at the bottom, we're going to smush it together and go into the back loops. So this will connect your hood to the sleeves. And this is what I was saying with like going out on the sleeve a little bit more instead of like a wider sleeve, because you're going to have a little puffy ridge because of that, but that's okay, still looks good. So go into the back loops, or you can go into both loops. So you go into the back loop of the sleeve area and then connect it with the back loop of the hood. And and do that evenly across until you get to the neck hole. I'm sure if you use your tapestry needle and sew it in, it won't be raised up like that, but I want to do as minimal sewing as possible. Now that we have the hood attached, just single crochet across the neck space here. And just keep single crocheting even till you just keep single crocheting until you get to the end of this row, and then we're going to turn it to connect the other side. So once you've turned it, just do what we did on the other side and single crochet in the back loops. And then we'll go across to connect the hood to the sleeve area. Or if you left the hood a little bit wider, just single crochet across through the back of the neck hole, because you won't have to branch out onto the sleeves like I did. Once you have it attached on the other side, your hood will be complete, and you can just fasten off your work, any loose ends, and then your poncho will be complete. I still had a bit left over, so you can use it to keep making your poncho longer if you want, and just go around the bottom doing the granny stitches, or I'm just gonna leave it how it is. But yeah, that's what the hood looks like. The next base is a little small for me still. It still fits, but I guess I like a looser fitting one. This was my first time working with this kind of yarn, and the ombre is pretty, but it makes me feel like a head of lettuce with this type of green. So I'm going to try using a different one next time. This is the final result though. Bye!